It's a cold one today, but we're back and we're changing up the full front side of the E90. And for $100, I think this is going to be one of the best things that I've done. So believe it or not, I have gloss black grills, gloss black mirror caps, and what I was surprised is when I saw the pictures is these actually are full replacements. They weren't like I thought they were when I first looked at them. They're not like 3M tape that just go on over the actual cap itself. So it's going to be a full replacement, and you get that little bit of M3 style too with it. And then with the grills too, they're a little bit more predominant. They push out. And actually when I was looking at it, so we'll take this gloss black piece and we'll come over to the grill. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it here, but it's actually blacker than the OEM BMW grills. So I'm excited to see how this comes out. It's going to look a lot closer to the paint itself. So we're going to get rid of that grayish tinge that it has there. So we're going to start on the mirrors. So we're going to go ahead and jump into that. And what you're going to need is, I think if you're kind of starting out and you're working on your own E90, you got your own BMW. BMW uses a lot of Torx, and this is a great kit because you get everything from T10 all the way up to T30 in various different lengths. I have a few pieces missing. I've had this kit for years. This didn't come with it, but yeah, just a few pieces missing, but you get all your extensions, and the only thing you need is just a simple little driver that you can buy separately. And this is the impact version, which I think was about like 60 bucks. So the bits are stronger themselves. You don't really have to worry about like the tips getting all messed up or anything like that. You can see some of them are starting to turn silver, but they're not rounded off. So I opted for the harder material. And then just get yourself, if you have a trim tool kit, I just have one trim tool, something that doesn't flex too much because we need to pop off that mirror. And make sure you have your keys. So we're going to bring this guy with us. So I've got my car, just an accessory, and we're just going to take our mirrors. We're going to make sure it's on the left, and we're going to move the mirror all the way. We're going to move it out a little bit and then all the way up, just about. I'm going to back it off a little bit because we want to be able to get underneath the mirror. So we're going to go ahead, flip that switch, and we're going to do the same over here. Move it out a little bit so it's about even. Move it all the way up as far as we can. And I'm just going to back it off just a touch. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my trim tool. This one has a nice little bend in it. And I'm just going to get right under the center of this mirror. I'm just going to pry back on it. And you'll feel it pop. Be easier if I could do this with two hands, but there we go. So the bottom's popped out now, and you should be able to get your fingers underneath. Just kind of work it around, because there's a couple clips on top as well. And the mirror might move in there, but that's no problem. So let's see. See, it's super loose. I think it's got one clip left. I think there's 4 or 5. So now I can get my whole hand kind of behind there. There we go. It's okay to just go ahead and push the mirror out a little bit if you need to, just to get it away from the car. But I'm going to go ahead and take off the mirror so I can get my pry tool under here. Be careful of the ribbon over here, but we're going to pry up on the farther side where the wires are, and that released it from its little clip. So just gently turn around the mirror, and you should be able to see a connector. Actually, it might just slide out now that it's unclipped. So go ahead and mark orientation if you need to, but I believe it only fits one way. Yes, it does look like it's keyed, so it's only going to fit one way inside the connector. So we'll just set this to the side, and then we can come in here and take a look. Let's see. So I'm just gonna take a little screwdriver, if you have a pocket screwdriver, and I'm just gonna hold the mirror and see if I can press off any of these clips from the original mirror caps. I'm kind of pressing outward, it looks like I have to go, and you can see the top is moving there a little bit. There's 1, 2, and then way, it looks like in the back here, there's another. There's 1, and then kind of behind the center here, there we go, and that just pops right off. So you can just slide that right off. So we can go ahead and just take this mirror cap. If you want to clean up behind it, go ahead, but just slide it on the same way that the other one came off. Just take your time with these because the clips are plastic and they can break on you. So it does make it easier with a light because you can see the gloss black tabs coming through on the back side. And you can just line them up. And I think I have them just about lined up here. I should be able to just squeeze them into place. Just look around the mirror, make sure everything's seated, make sure your gapping is all the same. So pretty simple, not bad. And then reverse order for your mirror. Make sure that's seated. And then there are the 4 tabs on the actual rotator here for the mirror itself. So you're just gonna wanna make sure that those line up with each individual mark. So just kind of how the mirror came off, just center it as best you can and push it into place till it feels like it clips in there. And there's no, the mirror isn't shaking. So that doesn't mean it's loose. There we go. There we go. There's the new mirrors. Whew, looks good. All right, let's get to the grills. So I think these are T25, T30s. Either way, you're gonna have them in that little bit kit if you do have the same kit as mine. So we're just gonna take out each one of those 3. And then for here, I'm not quite sure what we're gonna do yet. I know with some of these, if you do just tug hard enough, you can just tear them out of there, but you do risk damaging your bumper. So probably go ahead and just take out the couple bolts up here, those T30s, and then get a pick in from the back, or try and use that trim tool that we were just using and pop off the clips one by one. But sometimes you can get in there, just kind of give them a tug and see if anything will let up, kind of up and down while you're pulling forward. You know, if you're lucky, sometimes like that one, sometimes you can just kind of wiggle them up and down while you pull out, and there you go. You have one right there. We have this one out so you can kind of reach your arm through to the other side and try and get in from there. So you'll notice that when you are installing your trims, that they're manufactured straight and there's a contour to the hood. So, I mean, same thing when I was taking off the OEM, they kind of bowed up. So don't be afraid to press it down and screw it into place. You'll feel when the screw stops. So just to note that. So don't be worried. It's not a defect or anything like that. They're made to contour. So we've already loosened up, just kind of tugging. And when I was tugging kind of up and down at angles, just trying to see if I could pop them out by hand. And we were able to get the top of this one out and this one completely out. Like I said, you know, you might have to release these 4 up here to actually get the grills out. But with the one out, we can always try and reach around. And like I said, with the trim tool that we had before, I'm just going to try and reach around, and there's going to be a little bit of a lip underneath, and I'm just going to try and pry up on that, kind of while doing that same thing. You don't want to go from the front because you don't want to damage the the paint on the bumper by prying on it or anything like that. But I'm just gonna work this from different angles, kind of prying this at different angles to see if I can get this off without having to release the bumper itself. There we go. And it sounds loud, it sounds scary, but you're more likely to damage the grill than the bumper itself. I'm just gonna take a little microfiber, just wipe it down real quick. Make sure it's nice and clean for the new grills. And just like you popped them out, gonna try and line up the tabs as best we can. Make sure the top ones are lined up, and you'll hear it all click in. Kind of tug on it, make sure it's all seated, and boom, we'll pop these guys in. And these, just out of the box, you can tell that they are way glossier black than what the OEM ones were previously. Yeah, so the way that these protrude too, they kind of bump out a little bit. It kind of fills in that gapping there, whereas the originals over here were a lot more recessed, and it didn't fill it up. You get a little bit more aggressive look with them, and I guess, yeah, if you're looking for that motorsport style, they do use double slats. But for $100, that's a pretty good change up right there. And I think the grills themselves were actually the less expensive out of the two mods. I think those were 39 bucks on Prime, and then the mirror caps themselves, these were, I think, 56. They weren't on Prime, but they came in like 3 days, 2 or 3 days. So it was really quick. So you get the full change up of the car for 100 bucks. Not bad. Anyways, that's about it for today, guys. Just simple 2 easy mods that you can do for the E90, and I think they're great for anyone just starting to look to get in their car, you know. They're getting into it, they want to change something up. For 100 bucks, it's cheap, it looks good, it's easy, and you need basic tools. So I'll link those couple things down below that I used today. I think they're great for anyone that is starting out on their own BMW. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.